Dear students, welcome back. Now in this session we are going to discuss about the introduction to the lower limb. And this we are going to discuss about the major parts of the lower limb, their extent and features. Okay? Yes. So what do you mean by lower limb here? The lower limb is an extension from the lower part of the trunk, and it is specialized to bear the weight of the body, help the individual to move from one place to another place, and maintain balance both while the person is in stationary position or in moving. Okay, so the bones of the lower limb. So here these are all the bones of the lower limb are attached to the axial skeleton through pelvic girdle. Okay, now we will see what are the bones which are present in the lower limb. So if you take only one side, it consists of one hip bone or pelvic bone or innominate bone, and next femur, tibia, and this one is tibia, fibula, and also some small bones which are called as tarsals, and also metatarsals and phalanges are present in the foot. Okay, now what are those bones present in the foot? Now we will see. Yes, here comes the bones of the foot. It includes 7 tarsals. Normally in the upper limb, at the wrist, we are having 8 carpals in each hand, isn't it? Yes. But here it is having 7 tarsals. So the carpals are same as that of tarsals in the foot. Okay, so this one is the talus. Okay, and this one is calcaneum. Talus, calcaneum. And next comes to the navicular, and this one is cuboid. Because of its shapes, it is called as navicular and cuboid. And then cuneiforms, it is having 3 cuneiforms: medial cuneiform, intermediate cuneiform, and lateral cuneiform. So totally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7 tarsal bones are present in each foot. And coming to the metatarsals, it consists of 5 metatarsals. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And if you see the phalanges in the toes, the numbering of toes is from here medial to lateral. So first, second, third, fourth and fifth toes. So the phalanges you can see same as thumb. For the great toe, it is having only 2 phalanges. The remaining 4 toes is having 3 phalanges. So that means 14 phalanges are there. So 14 phalanges and 5 metatarsals and 7 tarsal bones. So total we are getting 19 and 7 we are having 26 bones in the foot. Okay, next coming to the regions. So why should we know the regions of the lower limb? Means for the sake of convenience and easy description of the lower limb. The lower limb is subdivided into various regions. So these regions are one is the thigh region. So this one is the thigh region. Okay, and gluteal region, thigh region, knee, leg, ankle and foot. So like that, these regions are divided in the lower limb. So now we will see from where to where this part is called as thigh, gluteal region, hip region, Okay, yes. So the thigh is the part of the limb between the hip and the knee. So here we can see this is the hip region, hip and the knee. This region is called as thigh region. Here the bone located here is the femur. Okay. The front of the thigh is frequently called the femoral region. So the thigh is having the regions. Actually, the thigh is divided into anterior region, front of the thigh, back of the thigh, and the medial aspect of the thigh. So this front of the thigh is frequently called as femoral region. So the front, here we are seeing, here is the front of the thigh, which is called as femoral region. So the part of front of thigh immediately inferior to the inguinal ligament is called as subinguinal region. As we know that the inguinal ligament is attached from anterior superior iliac spine to pubis, isn't it? So the region which is just below the inguinal ligament in the front of the thigh is called as subinguinal region. Now we'll see the gluteal region. So it is the region on the posterior aspect and is seen as the prominently rounded buttocks, and it is also called the natal area or cluneal region. So we can see that on the posterior aspect normally, so it is present like this. The buttock region forms the gluteal region. Okay, so this is present on the posterior aspect. Okay, next, coming to the hip region, it is the area of the hip joint and concealed, so that is covered by the more prominent gluteal region, of which technically it is a part. Okay, so this is about the hip region. Coming to the knee region, it is the area of the knee joint. So it is the area of the knee joint, and it is one of the prominently visible parts of the lower limb. It can be clearly seen and we can easily palpate the knee joint also. Okay, now coming to the leg, it is the part of the limb between the knee and the ankle. Knee and the ankle is called as leg. Okay. The upper part of its posterior aspect. So this is the anterior aspect. So the leg is also divided into three aspects. One is the anterior aspect, posterior aspect, and the lateral aspect. And if you see on the posterior aspect, okay, it is often referred to as the upper part of the calf is often referred as calf region. So it is present like this. Okay, the calf muscles which are present on the posterior aspect of the leg. So this part is called as calf region. Called as calf. Next one is the popliteal region. So on the posterior aspect of the knee is called as popliteal region. So posterior aspect of the knee is called as popliteal region. Now coming to the ankle region. So it is the region of the ankle joint and is the area where the vertical disposition of the limb changes to horizontal position. If you see all the bones which are in the presence in the vertical position, so at the ankle it is become horizontal position. So at the ankle it becomes horizontal. So this is the ankle region at which the disposition of the limb changes into horizontal position. That region is called as ankle region. Now coming to the foot region, it is the most distal part of the limb which the human is placed horizontally. So This is the only part which is placed horizontally to the ground in our body, that is foot. Okay, so these are all the main uh, regions which are subdivided in the lower limb. Now we are going to study this lower limb also based upon this regions only. So first we are going to finish off the gluteal region, thigh, knee, leg, ankle and foot. Before going to regions, we are going to complete the osteology of the lower limb. That means we are going to study the osteology part of all the bones. Okay, then we will move on to the particular regions where again we are going to study from skin, superficial fascia and deep fascia, the muscles and the blood vessels and the nerves which are related to that region, or we are going to study the nerves and vessels as a whole. Okay, so these are all the regions of the lower limb. Now we will see the bony landmarks of the lower limb. So this is called as surface landmarks, we can call it as. So the first surface landmark of the lower limb is, one is the anterior superior iliac spine. So one is anterior superior iliac spine. It is an easily palpable bony part at the lateral end of the junctional crease between the anterior abdominal wall and the thigh. So we can easily palpate between the anterior abdominal wall and the thigh. Next one is the iliac crest. So here you can see the iliac crest here. So this iliac crest, which is running posteriorly with a superior convexity from the ASIS, is the iliac crest. So here we can see like this. This is the superior convexity. Okay, so this is the iliac crest, and if you see the tubercle of the iliac crest, so it can be palpated above 5 centimeters behind the ASIS. So 5 centimeters behind the anterior superior iliac spine, you can find the tubercle of the crest. Okay, next coming to the pubic symphysis. It is felt in the midline at the lower limit of the anterior abdominal wall. The upper edge of bone that can be palpated lateralwards from the pubic symphysis is called as pubic crest. So this part is called pubic crest. And the lateral end of the pubic crest is the pubic tubercle. Okay. So this is about the pubic symphysis where we can felt. Next one is the greater trochanter of the femur. So this part is the greater trochanter of the femur. It can be felt about hand's breadth below the iliac crest. So below this iliac crest, how much? A hand's breadth. Below the iliac crest on the lateral aspect, we can palpate the greater trochanter of the femur. And next other bony landmarks is the patella. So this patella, commonly called as kneecap, and this bony prominence is well seen and felt in the anterior aspect of the knee. And next coming to the tibial tuberosity. So this is called tibial tuberosity. It is a bony prominence felt about 4 to 5 centimeters below the patella. So below 4 to 5 centimeters of the patella, we can palpate the tibial tuberosity. Okay, which is present on the anterior aspect of the leg. Okay. Next, coming to the condyles of femur. These are the condyles of femur and condyles of tibia. So these prominence can be palpated in the knee region. Okay. So on the medial side, we can palpate medial condyle. On the lateral side, we can palpate lateral condyles. So these are called as medial and lateral condyles. Next one is the shin of tibia. So this is called as a shin of tibia. So it is the thin and sharp anterior border of the tibia. This is the thin and sharp anterior border of the tibia, palpable almost through its extent. This is called as a shin of tibia. And next, other important bony landmarks is the head of the fibula. So this is the head of the fibula. It is a prominence felt. It is a prominence felt on the posterolateral aspect. So very important. It is felt on the posterolateral aspect of the knee and is in line with the upper edge of the tibial tuberosity. Okay. Below the head, the neck of fibula is also palpated. Below the head, the neck of the fibula is also palpated. Okay. And other bony landmarks are the medial and lateral malleolus. So near the ankle region, we can palpate this medial and lateral malleoli. These are the two prominences felt on the medial and lateral aspect of the ankle region. Several bony prominences can be made out in the foot region also. One is the calcaneum. So we have seen the calcaneum, isn't it, in the bones of the foot. So this is the calcaneum. This calcaneum can be palpable on the its posterior, okay, and also medial and lateral parts we can palpate this calcaneum. Okay. So sustentaculum thalli is a small prominence about a finger breadth below the medial tip of medial malleolus. Okay. So on the medial side, we can feel this sustentaculum thalli. And also another one is called as peroneal trochlea, which is a small prominence on the lateral aspect about 2 centimeters below the tip of the lateral malleolus. Below 2 centimeters of the lateral malleolus, we can palpate the peroneal trochlea. So we can palpate the head of the first metatarsal bone, which is a prominent landmark on the medial aspect of the distal foot. So this is a prominent landmark. Okay, tuberosity of the fifth metatarsal bone is felt at the midpoint of the lateral margin of the foot. So in the foot, so on the lateral margin, so here we can find this thing. So the tuberosity of the fifth metatarsal bone is felt at the midpoint of the lateral margin of the foot. Midpoint of the lateral margin of the foot. So these are all the bony landmarks of the lower limb. In the next session, we are going to deal with the osteology of the lower limb. In that, and the first bone is the innominate bone. We are going to discuss in the next session. Thank you.